of hollow hearts. I'm tired of fixing scars that don't belong to me. You're all I need. I don't wanna fight, I don't wanna fall. Standing on the edge of the end of it all. Tether me to reality. I feel it in my body. It's you. When the world is falling apart, I only need you. For you, I'll be waiting.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Revival League Season 2 Upper Bracket Finals. And my name is Retro, and we are here with map number 2 between 5STARS and Arctic Wolves. If you missed it, the first map was Chalet, and after firstly a 5-1 lead on the half, and then a bit of a comeback attempt coming up from 5STARS, Arctic Wolves did end up taking it at a 7-5 fashion. They ended up winning that map, so they now sit at map point. Not map point, but series point. As of course they have one map under their belt. This is a best of 3 series, so unless 5STARS are able to do something here on Villa to take it, Arctic Wolves will be taking the lead overall. Will be advancing into the grand finals, and 5STARS will have to crawl their way through the lower brackets if they still can. So that, this is sort of all to play for, but not quite, because there's still a chance for whoever really loses to be able to do this. But now, with the bans out of the way, we can get started with Villa. 5STARS now on defense, contrary to their attack start back on Chalet. The bans are pretty interesting. Not really, now that I think about it. They're, all of these operators are pretty much usual suspects, but the only sort of outlier that I'm seeing, first of all, more Fenrir, which, yeah, we do see it. We do see Fenrir banned quite a lot, but the key here to Fenrir being banned is actually the fact that Arctic Wolves banned him. And the reason why that's so interesting and why I'm harping on that is because 5STARS love Fenrir. They absolutely love Fenrir. They love bringing him everywhere, especially on Chalet, where he was also banned. It is pretty much their number one go-to pick. They bring him all the time. So the fact that Arctic Wolves banned him lets me know that they know exactly who they're going up against. They've seen enough of their opponents to know that this is something for them to, think about and worry about, and something that they do not want to play against. It also could just be the fact that Arctic Wolves themselves aren't too comfortable playing against Fenrir, who is a very, very, very strong operator, one of the strongest operators that we've had in the game, sort of in the past couple of years, certainly since Azami first came out, who's, of course, one of the strongest operators that we've ever had. So, just based on that alone, it's not that surprising to see Fenrir banned, but it is noteworthy, especially when it is against 5STARS. Now, contrary to what we saw on Chalet, the Flores ban did follow an Azami ban as well. It is just not something that 5STARS really want to deal with. It kind of caused them a little bit of issues back on Chalet, and it could cause so many more issues on Villa as well, not having a Flores to deal with the Kiba barriers. Callum trying to drop into the pantry window, taking a lot of damage, just narrowly avoiding dying there, and Tash will go with another whiff with a frag grenade. Rush will whiff with his C4 as well. Another frag grenade is being cooked as we speak. Meanwhile, the laundry wall is being opened up and giving Arctic Wolves a bit of an entrance into the bomb site. Tony with the first pick onto Selberg. Rush trying to find something there of the players inside of pantry, but is not able to find anything. Keppa, Reprince, and Zephyr, however, holding down the fort and the bomb site, are able to find as much as they need. Just a noob finally will eliminate Keppa, leaving us in a 2 versus 2 with 90 seconds still remaining. Twift trying to push in from Memo, taking so much damage from that C4, but instead he picks up the kill at the Zephyr, and Just a Noob is able to isolate Reprince, take him down as well. Behind the bomb chassis, or behind the boxes surrounding the bomb chassis, Arctic Wolves take the first round after it really shouldn't have been theirs, considering how dominant 5STARS were. That Zephyr flank came in at just the perfect time. Keppa and Reprince holding everything down from inside of the bomb site itself, and then it was just a little too aggressive with certain plays. Overpeaked and overdid themselves, completely shut themselves out from that round, and now they're gonna have to go upstairs. Of course, this is the more favorable site, but there is a certain strategic decision or a strategic advantage rather to the decision of going downstairs first into dining and kitchen, because if your opponents aren't ready to attack that, or if they're not expecting that, of course it's less so now with attacker repick, where they can drone out the bomb site, see exactly what lineup you're bringing in, and then counter you perfectly. But there is still a strategic advantage to that, in the sense that they don't have any information on you, on how you play and how you defend. And, you know, this is map 2, so they have some information about the general play style of the team, so they know that they like their positions. They know that they might like, you know, aggress every now and then. But overall, are very, very calm team, very passive team. So, you know, that's something that they have information on from the first map, but they don't really have too much information about how they play Villa specifically. So them going down at the kitchen and dining first and being able to win that round gives them essentially a free round, where now they are able to go into the sort of more default but also harder to win on attack sites that really could give them an advantage. And now Stelberg tried to go for C4 from below, popped it just a little too early, and Tash, who that C4 was directed toward, is more than alive. That top red shield position that you could just see just a little bit ago, that is the most crucial position of this entire defense, and if they lose Rush or his shield, this entire defense pretty much falls apart, as it gives Arctic Wolves free reign of that entire side of the map, and it gives them an entrance into the bomb site itself, where they can just tuck themselves behind that vault door and go for the default plant spot and just plant the diffuser, win it out from that. And that is a very, very difficult spot to retake into as well, especially when you have this much control of the map. So that shield staying up for as long as possible will be the absolute most crucial part of this defense. And now Tash's clone got shot out, but I don't think he's really aware where it got shot out from, and Selberg will be hunted and will find Twift on that hunt. A lot of utility being displaced, rushes way, and he's able to find Tash just as he was cooking that grenade. This is how you play this position, ladies and gentlemen. Aggressive, but still holding on to that shield. Rush taking a lot of damage there from Just New, but is able to stay alive still. Callum now trying to push up the main stairs instead, but there's just perfect cross set up there. Rush dies to his own gadget as Selberg pushes up, or Selberg takes down another one of his teammates, Tony, and I'm Just Noob all alone now. Rush a little bit frustrated with the way that he died there, but of course he was already quite damaged. He was working with less than half HP, so definitely understandable how the fire could have hurt him, but it also could have been one of those visual glitches where it doesn't look like you're in it enough. I'm Just a Noob goes down. It's all down to Tony. Not enough time and not enough bullets in the gun either. Too many angles to cover, and they take the round. Finally, 5STARS equalize. I say finally, it's only round 2, but of course, it is very, very imperative for them to be able to take this half with the lead, considering how defender-sided Villa is, especially in Revival League. It is one of the more defender-sided maps that we have, so they definitely do not want to let this one slip away by any means. They're going to be trying to go down into Trophy and Statuary, the sort of secondary bomb site, another very, very strong bomb site for most teams. This will be crucial for their current defensive run, and they are absolutely going to need this win to continue the streak of victory rounds, so that once they are on attack, they have a little bit more breathing room. Of course, them going in a 5-1 split back on Chalet, or a 1-5 rather, split in Chalet, worked out in their favor a little bit because they started on an attack, so they were going onto the easier side in the second half, so they were able to make up a lot of that ground just from how, you know, the bomb side, or the side itself, is so favored to them. But here, where they're starting out on defense on a defender-sided map, going onto the attack, not going to be easy. Not gonna be easy. Only making sure to shoot those default cameras. Of course, we've seen it already a couple times in the playoffs so far. I remember an Oregon game, not sure who was involved in that. Fortunately, Rush showed a little bit of connectivity issues and fortunately disconnected, leaving 5STARS in an early 4v5. And that really could put a what's the word? Could sour their current mood. Keppa down below with an impact grenade that kind of missed, kind of didn't. But they're already making up so much ground here inside of the bedroom. Reprints kind of giving himself away there. Twift will be able to find Selberg. Rush was able to return, so at least, you know, they didn't have to waste a tech pause or a timeout or a, what's it called? Rehost. Zephin is able to finally answer back, but he's being aggressed onto so much. Reprints mows them down with an all-dub, but immediately traded, and now it's all down to Keppa. 1 versus 3, can't do anything against the R4C. And that round very swiftly is taken away by Arctic Wolves, who now secure themselves at least 2 rounds in this half. And now 5STARS yet again trailing. Of course, it's only 1 round, but that quickly could snowball into more than that. I mean, we've already seen it happen. We've already seen it snowball into trailing 4 rounds, then 5. And it just could be 6 as well. And then it's, you know, bye-bye. 5STARS, they're going down into the lower brackets, but you know, that is far away in the future, even if it does happen, which there's truly no way of knowing whether it will or will not. Nevertheless, going back into Trophy and Statuary, deciding to not really risk it back with the dining and kitchen, which I think that was better for them. I really truly believe that was a better round for them, better sight for them. Maybe this readaptation with, you know, bringing the castle, bringing the mirror, of course, Rush not disconnecting will also be crucial to them. But sort of across the board, maybe just this readaptation that they've made will be enough to win it. But I'm just saying that I do believe that their kitchen dining defense was a little bit stronger and a little bit better, a little bit more dominant. And of course, they lost into this positioning, and maybe that's why they only want to go there, because they just didn't feel comfortable or confident there, which comfort and confidence are a huge part of Siege, where if you aren't feeling it, you just shouldn't be doing it, because there's like really no margin for error there, and you really could be making quite a few mistakes. That's why rules exist, and that's why players tend to stick to their rules. They really don't want to go too far away from them, just because of, you know, discomfort and generally playing better in a certain role than others. A frag grenade from below went up to Reprints and took quite a big chunk of his HP, but luckily he's still alive. Can't say the same for Twift, who gets shut down by Rush, who I was actually about to call that Rush died, because I thought for sure Twift was going to have that covered, but no, Rush was just a little too quick. Callum immediately with an answer back, and then some finds Reprints and Rush, and now has free reign of the bomb site. Looking every which way, finding Zephin, all down to Selberg and Keppa. How much can they do? They're both sort of discontinued, and now it's all down to Selberg. Plant going down. Callum will not get his ace. It'll be just a noob with the final kill from the window. Repel. 5STARS crumbling on a villa, the same that they did on Chalet, and I worry now, truly, now that they're trailing 2 rounds, I worry if they're gonna be able to to take this one back once they get onto the attack, just because, again, I've spoken at length about this. I've already bored myself about how defender side of the map is, and, you know, maybe it's one of those days when it isn't, when it's just the attack that has the upper hand, but you really don't know. Nevertheless, though, they've gone back down into kitchen dining, which I've already said I think was their better site compared to what's it called? Trophy statuary. Selberg, make sure to clear that drone. So not allow them the information. Bit of a misplay there from Market Fools to stay on that drone. Of course, maybe they didn't know that a Solus was present, but considering that she's been present for a couple rounds now, they should have expected that and just not been on the drone. Of course, if you're not on a drone actively using it, the Solus cannot see that it's there. It cannot see it. She can only see it when the drone is active. Same with any other utility, which typically if you're holding the utility will become active, so that's when she'll be able to see it. But for the drones, and doing a similar thing to what we saw on Chalet, where he's shooting it through the bullet hole so as to not break the glass and not give away the positioning there. I think I knew that that's a thing. I just forgot that people do it. Like, it's not just like a thing that happens one time in a video. But nevertheless, going back down to kitchen dining, and now Selberg, who has been pushed away from his position a little bit closer to the curtain attack point, was rotated onto the red stairs. Swift finds reference, still not able to clear the player playing behind that shield. Do believe that's Rush, and with Selberg to help on those red stairs, they have a really good cross. Actually, Selberg has rotated away in the meantime. Could just be getting his head taken off. What are you doing? Why aren't you expecting that? Selberg indeed does go down, gets his head taken clean off from a position from above.
A bomb.
3v4 now. Zephin, perfect time to put down a shield halfway through the round, and I'm just gonna punish him for that misuse of time and utility. Kappa inside of library, getting droned out. Or inside of living room, I guess this is.
Drone going out.
Rush. Bottom of the red stairs. Kappa will find Twift. But both players are so far away from sight, they can do absolutely nothing against a plant being attempted. I'm just gonna find Rush from, I believe, still that top floor angle, and it's all down to Keppa now in a 1 versus 3 post-plant situation. Again, I'm just a noob is still upstairs. The C4 will rip. I don't think that he'll be able to find him unless there's some sort of miracle, and indeed it does not. The other two players have made their way outside of the building, and Tash rushes just in the nick of time, finds that kill, wins the round. Arctic Fools take a 4-1 lead. 5STARS might just like to go 5-1 on the first half. Maybe that's their goal, is just to see how many maps they can go on a 5-1 or a 1-5 streak or half. Or
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
nevertheless, though, truly not what I expected to see from 5STARS. Of course, they've been so far a very, very dominant team all throughout the qualifiers and then throughout the Premier League as well. You know, they've been saying how ready they are for the Champions League and for the relegations matches, and hopefully they're going to be able to make it in there. But this is truly a shutdown, or at least it looks like it will be a shutdown, unlike one I've really ever seen in this far into the playoffs. Although I say that, not remembering last season pretty much at all. I think I remember a total of 2 maps from last season. That's a lie. That is a I'm lying to you people. I remember 1 map from last season's playoffs, and it is Cafe Lumina Gaming against I don't know who, No, I remember too. I remember also flying Fabians against I don't know who on Chalet. That is the extent of my memory of the entire last season. So, truly, truly don't know if this is unprecedented or if this is something that is just sort of a Revival League tradition. But what is a Revival League tradition is that Tash will find Selberg any way that he can and make him be that opening victim yet again. 5STARS immediately at a man disadvantage, now defending upstairs again inside of Aviator and Games. And again, as I said, that top red shield is absolutely crucial for any defense on Aviator and Games, or at least for that particular defense. But if that's not even where the attack comes from, then it might not be so much. I'm just a noob with one grenade that hit Keppa for quite a lot of his HP and found a frost mat. The second grenade missed, but Callum's bullets did not. Taking a lot of damage from an off angle that he cannot contest. Zephyr finally answering back for his team, but still so much time remaining for Arctic Wolves, and they still have so much utility and so many people to go with. Taj will find Reference with a grenade right after he had already gotten down. Rush finally finding Twift, but it's a 2 versus 3. Tony, I think he's trying to open up that wall into Bar, but he will get taken down, or he will take down Zephyr, who's trying to rotate through the vault room, and now it's all down to Rush in a 1 versus 3. Still, again, so many people, so much utility. They still have all 18 of those X-Gyros left in the pocket. In the pocket of Tony. They still have those clones remaining from Tash to be able to locate him in any position, and the flashes from Tony as well, but none of that is really going to be utilized. This is just a noob to find the final kill of the round and of the half. 5STARS take another 1-5 loss on the half. Arctic Wolves now get onto the defensive side on Villa and are looking to shut this down quickly. Truly, no way of knowing whether or not they will, but I think that it's probably looking a little bit more likely like that they will.
And defuse bombs.
Arctic Wolves now defending. Going to Aviator and Games first, bringing a pretty dissimilar lineup to what we saw from 5STARS. Of course, sticking with that Mozzie, and the Jaeger, but that's pretty much it from what I can tell. I actually don't even know if they brought the Jaeger all that much, but they bring a pretty solid lineup though, nevertheless. Immune to cover up any or to stop or at least slow down
5 seconds to insertion.
any drones or potential cameras, maybe if they brought a 0, which of course we know that they didn't, but Arctic Wolves don't. The Jaeger to shut down any potential frag grenades or just generally projectile utility coming at them, and Kappa taking a lot of damage from a spawn peek attempt from Tash. Took a lot of damage, managed to stay alive, but still not ideal. Tash pretty much unscathed and uncontested, rotating away. I'm just a noob in the meantime, still holding on to the bomb site itself. The roam presence is there for Arctic Wolves, but it's not quite that extensive. The extent of it really is Tash, just sort of sitting inside a trophy or a statuary, depending on how he feels. The only other roam presence is on top of those red stairs, which I wouldn't really even call a roam. I would just call that an extension, a necessary extension of the bomb site, because you need that control. Selberg now pushing up the Astra stairs. I don't know if he's aware of Tash playing around there. Zephin was aware of a jump off from Twift and was able to find that kill. And now this is where it could get bad, but it doesn't. Selberg with a beautiful bait and switch there onto Tash. Destroys the wall, swings the door, finds the kill. Takes down the man. Justin trying to contest onto the 90 window repel, and he is able to find reprints. Very, very bold, and it pays off as they take down the ace, but of course not before those Selma chargers are able to go off on that 90 wall. Callum now, so aggressive, runs out yet again onto that study balcony and is able to find another one onto Zephin. All of a sudden, Arctic Wolves have brought this down to an even split. Kept wasting a little bit of utility there, trying to put an air jab down into the bomb site, but it got swallowed by an ADS, so he had to throw down a flashbang in there as well. Selberg has that cross covered, has the entire site cut in half with that wall being open and that rotation being where it is. Callum, thank God, finds only a clone there from Rush. I'm just trying to do something here against these players, but Kappa is just a little too quick on it. Callum is able to find Rush and is going to try and stick this one out. 15 seconds to go. They do not have the diffuser at the moment. I think it might have been dropped all the way outside when Reference died. Time is running out, but there they are. Keppa finally runs into the vault and finds that final kill. Did Callum not hear him, or was he just confused? I don't know, but that, I feel like he should have known, at the very least, the Keppa was coming behind him. But I guess he might have not known. I don't know. Nevertheless, though, 5STARS keeping up with the tradition of going onto a 1-5 split on the first half, winning the first round of your second half, and then it's Godspeed from then on.
Defuse bombs.
Back into Aviator and Games they go. Arctic Wolves looking to close this out soon enough so that they can go have dinner and chill out, watch some movies. They really don't want to play this one for too long after
Attackers have located
the
bombs.
first map already went to overtime, or nearly went to overtime rather. 5STARS in the meantime are just getting started, and they absolutely want to take this as far as it will go, and potentially even make it all the way down into Cafe. But at that point, I question the sort of
Attackers' objective is to defuse the bomb.
stamina, the mental stamina of playing that many games and playing that many rounds, rather, while still staying as top of your A game, which I don't think the 5STARS have even been all day. And if they have been, if this is what their A game looks like, which, spoiler alert, it isn't, but hypothetically, if this is what their A game looks like, what kind of track are Arctic Wolves on to be this dominant? Of course, it's 5STARS making quite a lot of mistakes that they really usually don't make. I mean, all the way back on Chalet, if you remember, when they were getting flanked all the time, and it's droning a lot of things. Really not something that you see from them often. And here it's just a lot of mispositioning, so it's all of the things that you really very rarely see from them. So I wouldn't really say that this is their A game in any capacity. It's just them having an off day, which is a horrible time to have an off day when you're playing the upper bracket finals. I guess the only consolation there is the fact that it isn't the grand finals, and that this is, map 3, and they're already down 2 maps, and Arctic Wolves are looking to win it all, and they are, not bringing their A game. But nevertheless, though, Silver kept up progressing through this northern side of the map. Ash sits at the bottom of the red stairs, just waiting. Callum there to boot as well, just in case somebody tries to show their teeth down there. Tony found himself a nice little pixel angle and is just waiting. Oh, Tash is actually with the Soulless gadget out, giving quite a lot of information to his team about where the push is coming from, what kind of utility they have, and what they're using it for. And now with the frag grenade taking down that shield is going to give them a clear line of sight into the bomb site, all the while cutting Tony off from his current position. Tash now trying to come up those red stairs, getting caught out a little bit, taking a little bit of damage there, and finally going down through the wall. Keppa completely not letting that one away. He bit into it and he kept ripping until he kept biting until it ripped. Helberg sees Tony down prone in the doorway, but isn't able to find the kill. And Tony is looking to find another one from that prone position. Won't be able to find it now. But 5STARS are very, very low on time and equal man count, so they really don't have too much of an advantage. Even less so now, but Keppa regains it. Immediately, I'm just a noob answers onto that one, says, and no siree. They flush into the bomb site, and there's nothing they can do against SMG-11 of Tony. I do believe that was a collateral kill as well. And indeed, well, not quite, but basically, they completely lined up for him perfectly. And now Arctic Wolves are on match point in round 9. I mean, they're still keeping true with the tradition of, going on a 1-5 loss on the half, winning the first round of the second half, losing the second round of the second half, and then trying to go for a comeback. That is what we've seen so far from 5STARS twice. Are they going to be able to do it a third time? And this time they're going to have to take it into overtime. Unlike on Chalet, where they didn't necessarily have to, like they still had Villa to play on. But, yeah, it's gonna be confusing. Trophy and Statuary is now their current residence. A lot of drones flying by, nothing C-75 can't take care of. A pretty similar lineup to what we saw from Arctic, from 5STARS on this map, on this bomb site, except they didn't quite extend as far. Of course, one of the mirror windows was placed inside of bar. It doesn't look like that's what they'll be doing. Yep, no, it looks like one of the mirror windows is facing the bedroom. The other one is facing Astro, which of course gives them quite a lot of control of this entire north and northeastern side of the map. But it does mean that they've largely abandoned the southern side of the map where Aviator and Games are, and of course the lower floor as well. Of course, there is still a little bit of room presence there with Twift and Tash, but should they isolate those players and lose those players early, that really gives away a lot of map control over to their opponents. Twift taking quite a lot of damage through the wall. Really could not tell you where he took that damage, but nevertheless he stays alive and just sort of books it. Runs for the hills, doesn't really need to stay around, and Keppa once again victim to this vertical angle. How are they still not expecting this angle? It is such a basic default angle that you see all of the time, even in ranked. For them to not expect it, not even so much for them to not expect it in the first place, for them to not expect it after they already died to it, that's gotta be, I don't even know what that is. That's just unpreparedness, not adapting to your enemy. I don't know. But they finally managed to take down Twift. Now before the damage has already been done, Reference making sure that he can't get run out on. In that window, as he's, I believe, going to try and drone some things, try and find a little bit of information onto where the articles are currently situated across the map. Zephan from below tried to make something happen with those frag grenades, is going to miss for the most part. Wow! I thought that was lag, but Selberg found the kill on the Tash there, and is not going to be able to gain a little bit of control of that Astra side. But Tony is able to find Selberg with a shotgun. Just a noob downed. To what? I don't know. Maybe through that hole. That's the only thing that I can think of, is that he got down through that, crawled away. But now he has been retrieved and revived, so that's really not going to be that much of an issue. Callum in an inconspicuous position, just as Tony takes down Rush.
Stop the diffuser.
No, he did not expect that. Callum will take down Reaper, and he will take down Zephin, and a round that I completely forgot was not only match point, but also map and series point, ended up being the final round of this map, this entire ordeal. Arctic Wolves take the second map as well. They took the first map 7-5. They took this one 7-2. Yeah, don't know what to tell you. That was definitely a game. I'm sorry that I haven't that I'm a lot less energetic than I normally am. It is not due to the game. It's just I'm tired in general. So I do apologize for the stream lacking a little bit of enthusiasm from my part. Of course, doing this solo doesn't help. It does get a little bit grueling. So I guess in a way I'm glad it didn't go to 3 maps, but commiserations to 5STARS. They really made a quite a deep run. Of course, not all is over yet. They still have the lower bracket finals to go through, which will be against Eterno. So it will be a rematch against Eterno, as Eterno, while we were still battling it out here on Villa, Eterno took a 7-4 win against Lumina on map 3 of their series down in the lower bracket, and they were able to secure themselves the continuation through the lower brackets to potentially fight for that top spot in the grand finals on Sunday, which will be a insane game no matter who ends up being in it. Of course, one of the teams has already been decided, and that is Arctic Wolves. They will be in that grand final. And now it's just waiting on who will be joining them. Will it be 5STARS? Are they going to be able to take it again against Eterno? And are they going to be able to go for that rematch again against Arctic Wolves? Or will it this time be Eterno that prevail in the game against 5STARS and go up against Arctic Wolves in a true Champions League battle for that top spot? Really, there will be no way of knowing until Sunday when we get that game, but that is on the future for this game. Well, there's really not much to say. Arctic Wolves were absolutely the stronger team. They were on their A game. They brought everything they had in their pockets, and they put it all on the table. 5STARS made a lot of mistakes, and I hope that they're going to be able to rectify a lot of those and not make them come their game against Eterno. But yeah, quite disappointing there for 5STARS to not have made it, especially considering how deep of a run they had. Very, very reminiscent to last season's Flying Fabians, who had a similar run from the lower bracket. Not the lower bracket, but from the Premier League. And I think no, they didn't go through the lower bracket. They completely dominated and went through the upper bracket. But nevertheless, though, very reminiscent of that, and it's kind of disappointing to see them go out now. Well, not out, but to see them eliminated into the lower bracket, where they may or may not win. I mean, Eterno were not an easy opponent to beat. I mean, 2 of those maps went to full overtime, and the other map was a complete domination game from Eterno. So it's definitely going to still be a lot of work for 5STARS if they want to make it into that Sunday game. Meanwhile, Arctic Wolves have got a couple of days free to scram and to rest and to really get their heads in the correct headspace for that game. I truly don't know who to give the MVP to here from Arctic Wolves, because Twift is absolutely the candidate just because of how crucial he was back on what's it called? I forgot what it's called, on Chalet, but he wasn't really that strong here on the Villa, so it's tough to give it to him. But just as well, it's tough to give it to him just a noob who wasn't that dominant on Chalet, but was very, very crucial for Villa. And I think that I will end up going with Twift for the reason that I feel like his contribution was a lot more impactful on Chalet than Just Two Noobs was on Villa, which was a complete, domination and a complete teardown coming out from Arctic Wolves. So there really wasn't that much of an opportunity for Twift to really show his teeth and what he's made of. When the entire map was over so quickly and the entire thing was so dominated from the side of Arctic Wolves. Meanwhile, Chalet was a lot more back and forth. Well, at least in the second half, and there were a lot of uncertainties where 5STARS had the upper hand and had the advantage, especially in the first one when they were attacking. There was a lot of rounds where they had that upper hand and had that, initial bit of pressure, but then they weren't able to hold on to it, and Twift was a big part of that. Twift and Tash, I feel like, were a big part of that, but I think I will go and end up going with Twift for this one. But of course, they still have at least, well, not even at least, they still have one more game, so it might happen for Just Noob or to any of the players. It might even be Callum, who had a pretty special game here on Villa. But without rambling any longer, that will wrap up this game. Thank you everybody for watching. Make sure to stay subscribed to this channel so that you know when we next go live, which will be pretty much every single day until Sunday, and then it'll start to get a little bit more sporadic. We're only gonna have relegations matches next week, and then it's gonna be on a little bit of a break. It's gonna be sort of a desert quiet over the next few weeks, until we come back with season 3 in September. But thank you everybody for watching. I've been Retro. Have a good night.